Welcome to USMLE Sarthi. We are committed to empowering IMGs. We're excited to guide you on your match journey. Don't forget to click subscribe and turn on notifications so you can get notified whenever we add new content. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter for the latest tips and tricks regarding everything USMLE. Now, let's dive into it. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. We're so excited to have you. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on your time zone. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Shayla, the VP of Student Success here at USMLE Sarthi, and we have a special webinar planned for you today. We're going to go through some of our actual students that have matched and talk about their strategies, what they did, how they overcame a lot of red flags, low scores, gaps, all those types of things. So I think it'll be hopefully really valuable for each of you, and we're excited to guide you on this journey. So with me today, I have our Chief Mentor, Pawan Kira. Hi, Pawan. How are you doing?
Good. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Shaila. And we also have our team who will answer questions on chat. So just as a housekeeping, you can ask questions in the chat. Our team will be there to answer. We will try to get to all the questions about an hour or so. And if there are any unanswered questions, you can email us or set up time with us to discuss your profile. We are primarily focused on the upcoming season, or this season 2025, and answer your questions on rotations, research, profile, and all that, as Shaila said. So yeah, let's get started, Shaila.
Great. Okay, I'll go ahead and share my screen. We have a presentation for you. Okay, is that visible?
It is, yes, it is.
Okay, so quickly we'll just go through the agenda here today. So we're going to go over, like I said, some profiles of students that did match. We'll talk about some of the reasons that students don't match or didn't match in 2024. We'll talk about how to improve your profile for 2025. And then we'll talk about when is the right time to start preparing for 2025. And then at the end, we are going to do some actual live discussion. We have some Instagram people who submitted their profile prior. So we're going to talk about their actual profile, give you some recommendations on what you should do. And then we'll have someone from the audience today as well that will give you a live basically profile review on what you should do. So it should be pretty engaging. So feel free to join us on the chat when appropriate. So. Okay, so first we're going to talk about this live case and see what she did.
Thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to share my story. Hello all. My name is Priyanka. I would say I'm not older graduate, but I'm on the borderline. I'm a 5 years old graduate. I think my biggest challenges were I had more than 15-point drop from my step 1 score to step 2 score. My step 2 score was in lower 220s, and I'm a 5-year-old graduate. So this is my second cycle. When I applied in the last cycle, I didn't have my step 3 as well, and I ended up getting just one interview, and unfortunately I didn't match. I realized my mistakes when I assessed. I realized what mistakes I made, and today I'm going to talk about a few points, how I improved and how I rectified my mistakes. Before that, I'm going to.
Okay, so before she gets to what she did, we kind of want to talk about that. So basic summary, she is an older year of graduation. She talked about having low step scores. She applied 2023, had 1 interview, and then the second cycle had 7 interviews and matched. So go ahead and write in the chat box, what do you think she did differently the second application cycle?
Yeah, this is very interesting, guys. Shaila, you have really, it's a mystery movie. You stopped it at the right time. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what people think she did, because that could help. And I also want this to take this opportunity to introduce Sejal, who likes to remain behind the scene, but she's a core part of our team. She's in touch with a lot of students. So Sejal, if you're ready, you can say hi to them for a minute. And people can associate a name with a face if you want. But Sejal is along with Sheila, is the contact for Match. And say hi, everyone.
Yeah, hello everyone. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you.
And thank you and welcome to the webinar.
Thank you. Yeah. So like I was saying, Sheila and Sejal run our Match, and you'll hear a lot from them. So with that, let's go back and see what people have said. Okay, research, step 3, more USCE, reaching out to programs, step 3, connections, okay, research publications, step 3. Okay, so let's see, Sheila.
Yeah, let's find out what she said.
I'm going to say that Sarthi played a very key role for me to achieve residency today, and Telegram group is one of the most valuable resources I had this cycle. The first thing I did was step 3. I can't tell enough how important step 3 is, especially for an older graduate. There's a tremendous change in the number of interviews you get once you have step 3 on the profile. And then the second thing I improved on my profile was getting inpatient experiences. In my first cycle, I had only applied with just outpatient experiences and only one inpatient. And the second cycle, and the second time when I'm preparing for the application, I did all inpatient rotations, and I did from good prestigious universities. You'd be amazed to see how many professors are willing to offer observerships to the candidates. And my sincere suggestion is go prepared to the rotations, be proactive, ask questions, make an impression. The most important thing you'll get from the rotations are personalized LORs. Out of my 7 interviews, at least 4 interviewers talked about my LORs. They said they were very personalized and they liked my LORs. That is one thing that significantly improved my profile this year. And the second thing that improved is the research. Like wherever I go to rotations, I try to make contacts with my co-observers, and then we submitted abstracts for chess conference, AHA conference. I was very privileged to present at the AHA conference as well. That also many program directors asked about that. How was my experience and all? That made a significant impact. And last but not the least, I wanted to tell the single most important thing is program outreach. It's very important that I started my program outreach 2 months before the application deadline, which is from July. And if time allows, please do send personalized email at least the first time. And then I'd say I got more than 2 interviews from the program outreach. The program directors replied to my email, and then they said that they will give me an interview, which they ended up giving. So I think these are all the things which significantly impacted my.
All right. So thank you, Sheila, and maybe we can post the link to this entire YouTube video in the chat. But before we proceed, as you can see here, maybe I should take this. She spoke about a few things. So rotations are important, and we do have a lot of them. What she mentioned was personalized LOR. So again, that is something important. Wherever you go for rotations, especially if you go through us, we'll make sure you get personalized LOR. So maybe Aarti, you can post the link for some of our rotations. Then she mentioned about research. So as you can see on the screen, research is important. Again, part of it is your profile. She had low step 2 CK score, relatively, I would say 5-year YOG. So, things could be different for you, but these are the things. Step 3, she already mentioned about step 3, research. Always look for research that can at least be submitted, if not published. And again, if you need more information about our research courses, Aarti can send that to you. And Sejal, maybe you want to post this video to everyone. Yes, thank you. So there are these things. Then she also mentioned about the Telegram group. So basically, we have a group which is closed and only for our students, where each week we have a different panelist who covers it. They answer your questions. So All of that put together. The other thing, like she said, was outreach, starting early. We do have step-by-step guidance on how do you do outreach, how do you send an email, when do you call the program, what do you say. In fact, our next class, if I'm not mistaken, Sejal, is on 28th on program outreach. So we have extensive classes which cover all aspects for you. Okay,
Yeah.
so I think
Yeah,
with
thank you for
this,
summarizing that. I
yeah.
love, thanks to Priyanka. I love her story because she did talk about really specifically all the things that she did and she saw a difference. So that was exciting. Okay, this is just some examples of students that match. Obviously, we've had students from across the board with all sorts of different profiles. Students with old years, low scores, step exam, step attempts. We've had Caribbean graduates. We've had even the recent grads with high scores, plenty of repeat applicants with average scores, or even recent grads who get low scores on their exams. So there's so many different profiles that can match and that have matched. So, yeah.
Yeah, again, the idea here is each story is different. And as you will see, these stories profiles are different. Recent graduate, old graduate, high scores, low score, home country residency, or without that. The question is to be able to identify what you're missing and how do you articulate the value that you've added to the program directors, both in your CV and in your interview. So it's a question of what to add and when, and then go into the match.
Right. Okay, so now we're going to dive into a few specific profiles. We'll talk about their profile, maybe some of their strengths, some of their weaknesses, and then what they did to match this season. Okay, so this is Beltina. She was an old grad with low scores. She had an attempt on her Step 2 CS. She was non-visa requiring and did have a home country residency, but she matched in her third cycle at her top program in family medicine. So Pawan, do you want to talk about what your strategy was with her and what she did?
So one of the plans we have is Platinum, and of course there are others also. Platinum gives physician mentorship, so you are assigned a dedicated physician from your specialty. So in this case, FM, and you have monthly checkpoint calls. So as part of that, we analyzed the profile step by step, month by month. We made a plan, what to do, what rotations to do. So that's an important part. For older graduate, what specific USCE will help, whether you should go for IM specific, FM specific, within FM, what rotations will get you more and more clinical experience, good LOR, those kind of things. And then some of the students who have not received enough interviews in the previous cycles need a lot of help with interview preparation. How do you articulate your responses? As an old graduate, maybe with an attempt, with gaps. So a lot of our work with her was around articulating her fit to the program, her fit to the specialty. So personalized responses for interviews as well as when she was doing the outreach. So which Priyanka also mentioned in the video, if you send 100 emails which are just cut and paste, no one is going to respond. So how do you personalize your messages both in interview and in outreach is important. So I think that's what helped her.
Great. Okay, now we have someone who matched in emergency medicine, which is generally not an IMG friendly specialty. So that's exciting. He was a recent grad with average scores, but he was visa requiring and was able to get 17 interviews. So that's awesome. What was kind of the strategy for Akash?
Yeah. So emergency medicine, really a lot of IMGs were trying in the last 2 seasons because, I think in the previous season they saw a lot of open spots went unfilled. Therefore, this season there was a push from IMGs to emergency medicine. But obviously, this is a very AMG heavy specialty. It's not easy for an IMG. So we had to work with him in terms of specific rotations. So rotations in emergency medicine, which give SLOE, those are important. Then how do we customize his home country work experience and all that. And then finally the interview. So the very fact that he got 17 interviews, his PS and CV was crafted in a way that was very compelling. His outreach was good. And of course, then the interview. So I think this is one of the success stories for the match, as a visa seeking applicant getting into emergency medicine.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so here's Gillen. She was another old grad with low scores. She had attempts on both step 1 and on step 3, non-visa requiring with home country residency, and a repeat applicant. So she had applied and not matched before, but this year got 6 interviews and was able to match in internal medicine.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. For applicants who have attempts like she had, step 1, step 3, it's a huge flag. And traditionally, they would be filtered out. As you know, programs have filters on year of graduation, attempts, scores, etc. So in this case, outreach was the key. How do you outreach? When do you outreach? That was the key. And then putting her in front of the program director so that they could see her experiences and skills. This mostly because of her rotations that we, personalized for her, outreach, and then of course she got 6 interviews. So it was a hard one because of the attempts.
Yeah, for sure.
So let me also take a question. Will the mentor be a US based physician? Yes. All our mentors in Platinum are either residents or fellows or attending in the US. So there's none of our physician mentors are not US trained. They're all in the US, residents, fellows attending. One of them, of course, has, after her residency and fellowship, just moved back to India, but they are all US trained. They have gone through the system, many of them, including fellowships. So I think we had a question. So, okay.
Okay,
Now,
our next, this is one of our oldest graduates this year, Paresh. He was 21-year-old
Yes.
graduate, so it is not too late. He had average scores with a step 1 attempt even as well. He was visa requiring. He did have home country residency and was able to secure 2 interviews and matched in neurology.
Yes. So again, a very, very unique profile in the sense that he was basically, you can imagine with a home country residency, he was, and, working in India, more than 18 plus year of relevant experience in neurology. So that was a big, big plus. However, his scores were average. He was visa requiring. When he started, he didn't realize the importance of outreach. So we really had to work with him because, again, he was getting filtered out. So outreach was very, very clear. But then the other thing was interview preparation. Sometimes what happens is when you know a lot, you try to, and I practice with him quite a bit in the interview sessions, and we do have about 25 hours of interview practice for all of you. So he would try to put everything, all his answers were more than 5 minutes, 3 minutes, right? So that's not something that the program directors have time or patience for. So how do you articulate the top points, why you are a fit, why you want to do neurology again, how will you leverage this 20 plus years of experience? Are you still coachable? Your attendings will be younger than you. So all these answers, we had to work with him. But again, he matched with 2 interviews and a good success.
Yeah, he wanted to share all of his knowledge in one question. That's great. I'm glad you're able to practice. Okay, we have 2 more cases, I think. So this is Tejaswi. She was a recent grad with average scores, so a little bit stronger profile. She was visa requiring, but she secured the most interviews out of all of our students this season, which was 28 interviews, and was able to match in internal medicine.
Yeah, so there is a general myth that if you are a recent graduate, match is easy. That is never the case, right? recent graduate could also have certain flags, could have certain weaknesses they need to overcome. And in her case, the scores were average. She was visa requiring, so for whatever it is worth. But yes, she had a good profile. We worked with her on her rotation, so subspecialty, IM, cardiology. So she had excellent rotations. Of course, I haven't seen the LOR, but I knew the physicians we were sending her to. So very personalized LORs. She was someone who would have regular checkpoints. So this is another tip for all of you, whosoever your mentor is, in Sarthi, outside Sarthi, keeping on track of your plan is very important. You guys need to understand that each month, each week matters. So she would have regular checkpoints with our team. Am I doing this correctly? What should I do next month? Should I do this? So that is important. And then she internalized each and every tip that we gave her. Outreach, of course, was part of it. But with 28 interviews, she knew she was on the right track. So for her, the challenge was to match in a top program. With 28 interviews, you can afford to take a bit of a risk and be more proactive and slightly more innovative in your approach to the interviews. So again, recent graduate but average score, did well.
Okay, this is our last specific profile that we're going to talk about. This is Monica. She was another old grad with average scores. She did have home country residency and then had a 3-year gap. But she was non-visa requiring, was able to get 8 interviews and matched in internal medicine as well.
Yeah, so why we picked this profile was because of the gaps. Gaps for many of you who may have taken a break, started a family, migrated to US, or whatever the reason is. Gaps can be very, very damaging, right? The programs need to be convinced that you are clinically current, that you are ready to get back into the workforce, and you will give it all you have, right? So our main challenge with her was how does she overcome the older year of graduation plus this gap. The good thing was she didn't require visa and she had a residency from long back. So, the rotations, which locations to do the rotations at. And of course, then it was all about interview practice because this is something that a lot of older graduates need practice in. How do you articulate why you had a gap? Now you're ready. That bit of a hesitation that needs to be removed comes from practice. So clinical experience and how do you articulate your home country residency work experience, etc., was something which we worked with her on.
Great, that was exciting. Okay, so then we just wanted to highlight a few other students that have matched with us. These are all the different specialties. So obviously we've had students in IM, FM, psych, peds, even OB-GYN, general surgery, anesthesiology, and neurology. This is this year specifically students that have matched, but we've had students across the board like we talked about over the years. So it's exciting to see that it's not just limited to the IMG friendly specialties, or it's not just internal medicine. There's a wide variety that you can match.
Yeah, and just for those of you interested in knowing more about their stories, Sejal, maybe you can post a link to our YouTube channel so you can follow us on YouTube, subscribe, so you will see every one of these on our channel, either giving an interview or telling about their stories. Many of them on Instagram as well, Instagram takeover. So Sejal, if you can post the link to our Instagram and YouTube so that if anyone is interested, they can go to those channels.
Yeah, so we're really excited about all of our students that have matched this year. Obviously, there are some that didn't match. So we want to kind of talk about what happened there. Even students that have seemingly strong profiles, like you talked about, having strong step scores, recent year of graduation, if they have home country residency, if they have a visa, even if they receive multiple interviews, it seems like they should be a shoo-in to match. So sometimes students don't match, and there are various reasons why that happens. So we want to kind of talk about What do you feel like students that you've seen? You know, we help over 400 students every year. We analyze hundreds of profiles every year as well. So what are some of the things that you've seen that students do that keeps them from matching?
Yeah. So before I go, so as Sheila is saying, if you need a free profile review and you want to see what you need to work on, Sheila or I or Sejal will set up time with you to just give you some tips. So you know, just keep that in mind. There is a, you know, a URL. Maybe Sejal will send that. In general, you know, the first thing when I say joining too late means starting too late. Now, whether you are working with us or someone else or on your own, understand that the season is already 1 month and a week old. It's already 1 month has gone. You know, the match results came out, I think 11th of March. Today we are on 17th. So you should have already started. You should already have a match plan. You know, which month you're going to do which rotation, what is your plan for research, what is your plan for CK if you've not done CK, do you need step 3, do you not need step 3, how will you get ECFMG certified if those kind of issues are still there. So each and every aspect should have been planned out by now. If not, and if you enroll with us, we work with you on each of these steps, but now is the time that you should have this nailed down on what are you going to do each month till at least December. So that is the first thing, you know, and not following up on the execution. So plan is one thing, but then you got to really execute that plan. That is another thing. Point 3, a lot of students take interviews very lightly, although it comes, say, in September, October, but they feel that interviews can be prepared for in the last 1 week. And that is not the case, you know. So when we do our classes, which have started, you know, a month ago, we try to be very interactive in these classes. We give you the opportunity to articulate and ask questions on Zoom or otherwise. So the more you practice, the more you ask questions, the more you interact with others. Let's say, you know, how was last month your US clinical experience? What did you learn? Those kind of things. So get in the habit of articulating that. That itself is the preparation for interviews. So the sooner you start, the better it is. The other thing, number 4, is many students, as you saw also in the profiles, are switching specialties, you know, or have home country residency in one, applying to the other. Now, if you are switching specialties, you really need to show that you are now completely into the new specialty. So maybe from IM, you are going to FM or going to neuro or OBGYN home country to FM. So relevant rotations and research, that has to be the key. I would say rotations first, research second. Rotations really show that your commitment to that specialty, given that ERAS is now only 10 experiences. So you really have to be smart about what rotations you pick. Giving up too soon. So match can be a long journey, especially if you have flags. So many of the people who join us, it may take them more than one season because the gaps or low scores or something in the profile needs to be corrected, and it cannot be done overnight. So the sooner you start, the better it is. But sometimes if you start late, you may have to go into another season. So you got to really keep trying. Program outreach, networking is the key, but more important is how do you do it? What do you actually do? What actually is networking? How do you actually do outreach? How do you use LinkedIn and all that? So we have classes on all of that, but this is important, you know, which conferences you join and all that. The other thing is you have a lot of well-wishers. Everyone has a lot of well-wishers. There is social media, Facebook, Reddit, whatever, and you are going to get bombarded with the advice, right? It could be too much advice, could be confusing advice. So you have to have, uh, the ability to distinguish between what is the sound advice, what you should do versus, what is the noise on Facebook. And that's something that our Telegram group and our panelists, we do to our students. I actually tell them, take everything on Facebook or Reddit with a pinch of salt, because you don't know what the the person giving advice may not know your profile, may not know your issues, or you may not know their issues. Everyone can post on Facebook, I have not matched, this is very hard, or I have matched after 10 years, whatever it is, right? So ability to distinguish noise from the actual advice can be hard. So have a focused strategy. I will take some questions. How many meeting sessions are free? So if you, and please put it for everyone. This you put it for host and panelists. So if you join our match plan, you have unlimited meetings with me and with Shaila if you need. Of course, if you join Platinum, then in addition to me and Shaila and Sejal, you are assigned a dedicated physician, and you get 10 meetings, including your PSCV reviews with that panelist. You will get additionally 4 mock interviews. Okay. Okay, let me take one more question, then we'll go. Cost of platinum and gold plan, I think Shaila has mentioned, or Sejal has mentioned. What else? I think we'll take more questions as we go forward. So
One student asked about the year of graduation. Is it calculated after your internship year? Or how do
so
they
year
say-
of graduation is calculated in the year you got your degree. So for example, in some countries, internship is not a requirement, like I think in Pakistan and Bangladesh. I don't know about Bangladesh, but in Pakistan, internship is not a requirement. You finish your, the core curriculum and you get a degree. So year of graduation is different. In India, internship is a requirement. So you get a degree after internship. So that's how you calculate. It could be different for different countries, is what I'm saying. Okay. How do I join the match plan? I think Sejal has answered that. Thank you. She's put in the link. So Sheila, let's move on and see what else is there.
Great. Okay, this is one of our match students that's going to talk about when is a good time to start preparing.
Hi guys, I am Ashley Daria and I mastered internal medicine in March 2024. So about a year ago, I was in the exact same place as you guys, and I enrolled in USMLE Sarthi's match plan in somewhere around mid-April 2023. And so right now I'd like to talk about how important it is to enroll in match plans early on in the season. So I'm assuming that all of you guys are in different stages of your preparation. Some of you all are preparing for your step 2 examination. Some of you all are pursuing US clinical experiences. But regardless of what stage of your preparation you are on right now, I believe that this is the right time to start thinking about your application and your experiences.
Okay, he goes on to talk about why he thinks now is a good time to start, his strategies. He has about a really good video that he talks about all the things that he did and why it takes so long to prepare. So definitely check that out on YouTube. But yeah, basically, like Pawan said, the time is now. It's time to start preparing for next year.
And by the way, Ashe matched in his second cycle. So, all is not easy. So when you look at his video, you will realize. Then let me take one more questions. Chances of
Hi, guys.
couples. Sorry,
Go ahead.
Chances of couples match for IMG. So couple match, again, we'll have to see the profile. It is not as straightforward as the AMG couples match, which is 95+%. But you can wait. There are various strategies for couples match, how to get the interview, and you can wait till even the NRMP opens up to disclose as a couple. So, if you work with us, we will tell you more about couples match. But the point is, it depends on your profile for both of you. Yes, Shara, let's go.
Perfect. Okay, so now we're going to talk about your profile specifically. Obviously, we've seen lots of different profiles today. So these are some of the things that you can do to improve your profile. And again, do set up time with us because it does depend on your specific profile. But Kwan, do you want to go through these?
Yeah, so again, I'm sure you are grabbing the link for profile review. So do that if you need. So the point here is what can you do to improve, right? So the first thing is only you can help yourself match, right? So the motivation has to come from within. Join a group of like-minded applicants and people who want to join. So we do have an open group. I think the link was posted. It's open to everyone. You can join that. We kind of monitor that group, give you some tips, those kind of things. So motivation is the key. It's not an easy journey. There will be a lot of challenges, and you'll hear from a lot of people you cannot match, but believe me, you can all match, right? Then have your own mentors. Mentorship is important in most parts of your life, but also especially in USMLE journey. Now, whether they are Sarthi mentors, whether they are your seniors, whether others, mentorship can tend to be important, especially from people who have gone through the USMLE journey, match journey. So take mentors, right? And if you join us, of course, we are happy to mentor you. Rotations are becoming obviously almost indispensable for math. Although I will tell you that even in this day and age, there are students who have matched without on-site rotations, only with tele-rotations. In fact, a few of our students could not get visa. They matched only with tele-rotations in this season. However, on-site rotations are still very, very important. They are your best shot. And if you have to prioritize, then after your ECFMG certification, step 1, CK, etc., rotations should be the key. And then you can decide, and we can help you whether you need research, how much, including step 3. Not everyone needs step 3. Not everyone has time for step 3. So there are some of these decisions. A lot of questions around, I did this rotation last year, 2 years ago, etc. Are the LORs still relevant? So the date of experiences matter more than the date of the LOR. Everyone can change the LOR date. That is not important. When you got the experience is important. So focus on getting the experiences, fresh experiences, focus on where you are getting those. So, for example, a rotation in an unaffiliated clinic may not be that useful, right? But if a clinic is affiliated with a residency program, can be very, very useful, right? Hospital rotations, like we mentioned earlier, are also important. Rotations with program directors, and we have a lot of those, so you can look up our website. Some of these things are important. LORs should only be waived. You cannot have unwaived LORs. And we have a blog on this as well. I think we'll also do a video. So Arthi, you can post a link to this, the importance of LORs and what is waived LORs for those of you who don't know. So it's on our website. You can read up that blog. Networking program outreach, as always, is important. What conferences to attend, when to reach out to the program, what to tell them, how to ask for rotations or observership. All that is part of it, right? So it's a portfolio. Not everyone needs to do everything. So you just have to figure out what your game plan has to be.
Great, thank you. Okay, and then this is just talking about our platform we call Matchflix. This is where all of our recorded classes are at. So all of our students get access to our live classes where we interact with you, we answer questions, we go over lots of different topics, like how to find research positions, how to do program outreach, how to write your personal statement, all those different types of things. And then all of our classes are recorded and put on Matchflix. So all of our students have access here, and you'll be able to access those as much as needed. So very helpful. We've heard lots of good reviews about our classes and really helpful information for the students. Okay, so further, I just want to talk more about our plans. So we've talked a lot about our students today and what we did to help them. So these are some of the highlighted things that our plans do include. We do have multiple plans, so make sure to check out the website, set up time with us so we can decide which plan is going to be the best one for you. But basically, these are all the pieces. That closed Telegram group we talked about, where you get lots of tips from other students that have matched, from a lot of our mentors. There's lots of conversation in there. The ERAS CV and PS reviews. Like I said, we do a class on how to write these documents, what to include, what not to include. And then you do get one-on-one editing from a journalist and a physician on those documents to make sure those are ready to go. All of our students do have access to our program list, which is our list of programs that we recommend you apply to. You can filter it based on your profile. So that's very helpful. Students have been able to navigate, which programs they're most likely to match at. And then we talked about our classes. So those are all of our live and recorded classes that we go over lots of different topics. Interview prep is in there as well. So that's helpful. Obviously the one-on-one guidance. So every student does get to meet with our chief mentor, Pawan. Those are unlimited meetings, as much as you need within reason, of course. But then that's really helpful to meet with him one-on-one, talk about your profile, discuss your strategy. Should I take this opportunity? Should I do this? Should I take step 3? Whatever it is. Those are really helpful meetings that students highly recommend. And then, of course, as a platinum student, you also get a physician mentor. So they would be someone that would be assigned to you based on your profile. And so they have a similar background, and you get to meet with them one-on-one 10 times throughout the season to have their guidance. They will be the one that reviews your personal statement, your CV, and they do one of your mock interviews with you. So they really get to know you and guide you every step of the way. Then we have interview preparation. So we talked about that a little bit, but we do live classes where you get to practice answering. You can hear other students' responses, take turns just practicing, getting comfortable answering those questions. Those are really helpful. Mock interviews are also included in most of the plans as well, which are one-on-one with a physician. So you get to practice those. And then the last piece is the interview insights is pretty helpful. You get to see when you get offered an interview at a program, you can see students that have interviewed at that program before. So experiences that they had, how long the interview was, who interviewed them, types of questions they were asked, things like that to really help you prepare for your specific upcoming interview. And then the rank order list, obviously, when it's time to rank your programs, we have a tool that's really helpful and kind of helps you navigate which pieces are more important to you or less important to you and help you choose how to rank those programs. And then all of these are included in our Sarthi match guarantee, which means we do continue to guide you until you match. That's obviously our goal, is to see you match. So we do continue to provide guidance as even if you don't match. So keep that in mind. And we do want to see each one of you match. That's the main goal. So Pawan, anything you want to add onto that?
Yeah, so a couple of things, and maybe we need to change it for next time. The interview preparation classes, in addition to me, there are classes by other panelists also. So keep that in mind. It's not, I won't bore you by myself. So there are more interesting panelists. We do behavioral classes, medical questions, and all aspects of the interview and match. And there are several other panelists as well. That's that. I think interview insights is an important part of our platform where we do have now, we've been doing it for, this is going to be our 10th season, I guess. So we have experiences from almost all programs, the type of questions they ask, and how do they assess you and all that. So that is an important part. But I guess what you will see in the feedback from a lot of our students, especially on Instagram, YouTube, etc., is the closed Telegram group. I think everyone finds that very useful. It's like, you can ask any question there. We monitor it, we run with it, our panelists answer questions on all aspects of match. So the closed Telegram group is open to all our students, and that's like your encyclopedia for match that we run. What else? I did see a couple of questions. I think Sejal has answered it, but I'll answer that also. If you cannot travel, then should you do tele-rotations? I think it's still a reasonable shot. It depends on your profile. Obviously, if you don't have visa, you should try anything and everything, including tele-rotations. Do I get to choose my platinum mentor? It depends on when you join, number one. Number two, because each mentor has a limited number of students they take. Number two, it depends also on your profile. So I sit down with you, I assess the profile because I know the profile of our mentors. I know how they work, what they are comfortable with, because it's a you are working with someone for a year. We want to make sure there is a fit. So we consider all of that. And earlier in the season, I think we absolutely can give you the mentor of your choice, but sometimes it is not possible. But don't worry, we try to assign to the best of our abilities. So if you join early, hopefully we can get you the mentor that you want.
Perfect. Okay, now is the exciting part. So we're going to review some real life cases here live right now on the webinar. So there's, like we mentioned, there's a couple profiles that were previously received from Instagram. So we're going to go through and analyze, basically give them a free profile review right now on what we recommend they would do with this particular case. So in the meantime, anyone who is here, please put in the chat your personal profile. So include your year of graduation, your visa status, how many months of USC you have or plan to have, your step scores, including step 3 if you've taken it, and then obviously your specialty of interest. So if everyone will put that in the chat, we'll select one person to also get a free live review as well.
Yeah, so we have 10 minutes. Let's see how many we can get to. So the first applicant on the left, step 2 CK is 233, year of graduation 2022, 5 publications. So first, look at what is missing, right? So obviously TK is done. I'm assuming OET will be done. They'll get certified. Now, if they are interested in internal medicine, 233 is less than the NRMP average. So it is a matchable score, but they have to do quite a bit. Now, when it comes to 5 publications, we also have to see where are these 5 publications. Are in a PubMed index journal or non-PubMed index, PubMed index, then what kind of journal, what role did they have, in those publications. The positives are recent year of graduation. So probably looks like they don't have any USC. So the first thing before anything else is going to be very, very strong 3 to 4 months of USC. Like I mentioned, of course we can discuss where, but without USC, there's nothing is going to move here. Second would be potentially step 3. Again, depending on this person's timeline, step 3 can help. Publications, we'll have to see which one, but step 3 and 4 rotations should at least get you in running for the match. Let me get to the other profile on Instagram. So it's an old YOG 2014 from Bangladesh. Let's see the visa status. I don't see the visa status. So for an older YOG, if you need visa, then there are other challenges, but you can still match as we showed you. Step 1 is 230, CK is 244, step 3 is 221. So the good thing is you have done with all your exams, and I am assuming this is not the first time you're applying. You're at 2014 and you have done step 3 also. So no gaps in a career is a good thing. Now comes the next question. Pediatrics. You want to join in pediatrics, you are a YOG of 10 plus, right? So what have you done in pediatrics? Are you switching specialties like you were in FM or IM and going to pediatrics, or you are already working in pediatrics? I think that will be the key question. A lot of times students pick specialty because they feel the score is matchable in a specialty, which is one aspect. But the other aspect is also to look at your relevant experience. If you have done nothing in pediatrics, then you absolutely have to do 5-6 months in pediatrics right away, because what you have written 6 months of USC as a medical assistant. Medical assistant is a job. I'm not sure if it was in pediatrics. So if it was not in pediatrics, you really, really need peds experience. And medical assistantship is not USC. I mean, again, depends on the experience you got. I think you still need USCE in pediatrics if you are interested. So next 5 to 6 months should be peds focus. Looks like your research experience uh, is relevant. So childhood behavioral disorders, again, what was your role or what is your role, how you're going to publish it, where, etc., makes a difference. Matchable in pediatrics, but like I said, need relevant USC, and then again, other things we can talk. Okay, let's see. A lot of profiles have come in, so I will go in order and see where we can do. Before I go there, is there a deadline to submit all scores before end of April? I don't know what this question is. No, there is no deadline before April for scores. Tanveen is asking year of graduation or TOG 215. I don't know what that means. I'm assuming this is YOG 2015, not requiring visa. USCE, not KE, I think 6 months. 222 anesthesiology, home country residency in anesthesia. So that is a good thing, but scores are on the lower side. Take a look at our recent interview. Sejal, I think we had Mrunmay's interview on YouTube on anesthesia. So she has actually articulated very well on anesthesia what you need to do. 2013 non-visa requiring CK is 230, no step 3 yet, registered nurse in California. So, NPA, registered nurse practitioner is a very good experience. Although you have an older YOG, probably, if you've been an outpatient nurse, chances of match in family medicine can be very, very high. Okay. We'll have to work on it, but your score is reasonable. You don't require visa. I think FM would be a good shot. Emmanuel says CK is 271, which is excellent. YOG 2020, visa requiring publications 3, again, relevant publications, where, etc. You have to say no USCE, home country in surgery. So it's a good thing, but you don't have any USCE. And if you're applying to surgery, you will need more than publication, you will need USC and US research, or your options could be, preliminary year. I think I remember this profile. Sandra, YOG 2011, no visa required, 2 months USC, I'm assuming relevant USC. Step 1 pass, multiple attempts in step 1. CK 248, planned for June 2024, and pediatrics. Again, I need to see, because of your attempts, I need to see what you've been doing since 2011, 13 years. How many years of gaps are there? How much PEDS experience is there? Before we can go. Attempts do make it harder. Step 1 does really make it very hard, but probably depending on where you live, you could do some rotations, get maybe some long-term positions to help you in pediatrics. Deadline to submit score is not 30th April. I don't know. why there is this confusion. So whosoever is asking it, no, deadline to submit scores is not 30th April, unless I'm reading this question wrong. YOG 2010, step 1 pass, CK in 2 months, visa needed, home country radiology, USC none, publications none. So, this profile, you have a lot of work to do, obviously. We need to know CK score. You don't have USC, you don't have research. So let's get through CK first. Then tell us what you're interested in. Are you interested in radiology or IM or something? Because you seem to have a lot of experience in radiology given the YOG and your residency. But if you are interested in radiology, maybe there is alternate pathway, maybe there is residency, transitional year, etc. Taking step 1 in July. If you are taking step 1 in July, you've not graduated, we can help you in guidance in 2024 for USCE. Sejal or Arti will get in touch with you. You're likely not going into the match this season. Schedule can be very, very aggressive. YOG 2016, no visa required. USCE 1 month, CK 220, 4 years gap, internal medicine step 3 this year. So 1 month USCE definitely is not going to work, right? So 2016 graduate with 4 years gap, you really, really need 4 to 5 months of strong USCE. So every month will count, and you need focused USCE, like I said, with program directors, inpatient, etc. So get in touch with us and we can take it from there. Roma Desai 2021, US IMG, non-visa requiring, CK is next month. So you have a 3-year YOG. You have 2 years of USC. So I'm assuming you went to Caribbean, internal medicine. So, just on the face of it, match is possible. But I don't have much information, I guess. Step 2 CK, we need to see research. And, but from what you mentioned, obviously match is possible. All right, I think we are coming to an end. And if there are any other questions, Sejal, you can send an email for profile review links. They can book time. You can email your profile. I think it is important. Sometimes we can be full. So email your profile using that link. Sejal, if you want to send that link again for profile review for the students, and then we can review profile online or one-on-one. But with that, I think that was all that I had. Anything else, Shaila?
Yeah, that was great. I think that was a great webinar, lots of helpful information, and thanks for answering all those specific profiles. So yeah, in summary, just don't forget to follow us on Instagram and YouTube for updates and other great tips like we had today. And feel free to set up time with us so we can talk about your specific profile and what we can do next.
Yeah, thank you. I'll keep the window open just in case you want to grab the links, and all the other questions we will answer in your profile review. So Sejal, I'll wait for you, or Shaila, you can post a link. So yes, Sejal has just posted this link. Grab this link. If you don't see the availability for one-on-one, there's also a link on this page to send us email profile review. Thank you, everyone. Good luck for the match, and we'll see you later.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope that video provided valuable insights for your journey. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. And check out our website for details on how we can guide you to a successful match.